The sun had barely risen over Los Angeles when the first signs of disaster appeared on the horizon. A thick plume of smoke rose above the hills,
darkening the sky with an ominous haze. The wind, relentless and fierce, carried the fire's embers like sparks on a night breeze. It wasn't long before the city knew the fire had spread too fast, too furiously. By the time the evacuation orders were issued, the streets were already chaos. People, desperate to escape, abandoned their cars where they had stopped in traffic. The once vibrant cityscape now felt like a maze of forgotten vehicles, left in the middle of roads as their owners fled toward safety. Firefighters worked tirelessly, but the flames were relentless, devouring everything in their path. Sirens blared as police and emergency teams moved swiftly, pushing residents to evacuation centers. But it was impossible to keep up with the sheer speed of the blaze. Homes, businesses, and entire neighborhoods were consumed in a matter of hours. Inside the evacuation zones, confusion turned to fear. People clung to their loved ones, not knowing if their homes would still be standing when they returned. The streets were a mixture of abandoned cars, frantic families, and the distant roar of fire in the background. News outlets broadcast footage of the devastation, showing whole blocks in flames, the heat distorting the air above them. Onlookers from safer areas could only watch in helpless silence. The fire had become its own entity, swallowing everything it touched and forcing the residents of Los Angeles to come to terms with the reality of the destruction. As nightfall approached, the light from the inferno cast an eerie glow over the skyline. It wasn't just a fire anymore, it was a symbol of a city in crisis. A reminder of how fragile everything could be. Families huddled together in shelters, the sound of helicopters overhead becoming their only comfort. The city had burned before, but never like this. This time, it felt like the fire had a mind of its own, taking away pieces of Los Angeles that would never return. The once bright streets of LA were now ghostly echoes, marked by the abandonment of the people who had made them vibrant. The fire was still out there, raging on, but so was the hope that eventually the city would rise from its ashes.